you like.
You can start it now whenever you want to start. We're going through it anyway. Wait till we go.
I've already started.
Oh, you already started? Okay, been here.
Oh no, it's part of our job, Snowden. And then in the next one, we'll stop here. This is the second. And here we've got a couple of rhinoceros iguana.
Iguana?
Yeah, because he's got a big, two little horns on his nose. And he would be about the size of a cat, a domestic cat, and looks very prehistoric. So he's a sort of a dull, matte brown colour.
So has he got a body like a cat, or?
Yeah, he's a bit fatter, but
Yeah,
like a
like a
lot of
rhino,
these,
yeah.
he's got very long talons down his back, so you can feel.
Okay.
So while he's scaly,
It feels like sandpaper.
it does, doesn't it?
Yeah.
And that's
Yeah.
a lot of lizards are like that.
Okay.
And if you feel the ridge down he's got the ridge like that running the whole of his back.
Fair enough. That's all right. Yeah.
So they're in great demand. They're threatened because these ones here are about the size of a bread and butter plate or some kind of dinner plate. But they've got on each of the panels of the shell, they've got like a star pattern on them. So they're highly prized. People keep for pets, or they get them and then get the shell and then treat the shell and then sell the shell.
Okay. Fair enough. Yeah.
So under pressure.
Yeah.
He lives up in the northern parts of Australia.
Yeah.
And he's, this one's a big boy. He's a good 2 metres long at least. He's got stripes on him that look like a tiger snake going across his body.
Yeah.
But he's a beautiful looking snake, and his head and neck is a glossy black.
Okay.
So what they do is, because they live in a hot area, they'll often be in a hollow somewhere and they'll just stick their head out, and because it's black, it attracts a lot of heat.
Yeah.
So they use that. They don't have their whole body out, so it's a safety thing as well.
Yeah. Fair enough. Yeah.
They're snake hunters, so they love hunting other snakes. So this one here, stop now. He's almost fully grown. They get to about 2 metres, a little bit over 2 metres.
Yeah.
And they've got a long skinny snout with very sharp needly teeth. That's because they feed mainly on fish, frogs and other little creatures in the water. They're supposed not to be dangerous to humans, but you wouldn't want to go and pat one.
No, exactly.
And he's the usual crocodile colour, so sort of darkish on top. He's got 2 or 3 stripes across
You're
his
saying
body.
he looks like a crocodile, do you? Or?
Oh, it is a crocodile.
Oh, it is a crocodile. Sorry.
Freshwater crocodile.
You did the first bit. Sorry. Okay.
So this is right in northern Australia. They're supposed to not be,
Yeah.
but they're big. This is a Philippines crocodile. I reckon there's only about 100 of these left in the wild. So we're partnering with Filipino zoos to. He's like an ambassador species to make people aware of the thing. So he's a bit bigger. He'll grow to about 2.5 to 3 metres, and he's got more of a triangle-shaped snout.
Okay.
Whereas the saltwater, the freshy's got a very slender snout.
Is this the only zoo that you volunteered at? Or?
Yep.
So this one is diamondback rattlesnakes. They're beautiful snakes, like a dark brown, and then they've got light white crisscross formations on them, a bit like a diamond shape.
Yeah.
They're quite a fat snake. They've got a big square head, highly venomous, and these are the ones with the rattles on the back.
Okay.
Diamondback rattlers, and they live mainly in the southwest of the United States.
W on a band, I'm joking.
The famous bullnet lizards. You've ever picked up one of our coins? I think it was the 10-cent piece. If you feel on the one back of it, you can feel the.
The coins are too sensitive for me to feel, but I know what you mean.
Yeah.
I'm a muser and I have hard claws on my fingers, and when you're a bit,
right.
fingers
calluses,
they don't turn sensitive anymore. Oh yeah.
So they love to hang off the trees. We've got 4 of them in here, and often with other visitors I say, can you spot them? Because they're same colour as the bark of the tree, they're a bit harder. But these are right up in the north, in the hot area, and they're quite funny. When they run on their hind feet, and
Can you
get
spot them, Kira?
Yeah, I've got them on video.
Okay.
Yeah. They're cool.
Yeah. We've got a sail-finned water dragon. Comes from the Philippines too. He's sort of a yellowish and brown mottled colour, but he's got a huge fin on his back like a fish.
Yeah.
and looks quite prehistoric. And he often sits with his mouth open, gaping, so it looks quite fearsome. Really striking looking lizard.
He looks very dinosaur-like.
Absolutely. Often called goannas in Australia, and they vary. Like this little fella here would be probably 7 inches long, quite skinny. He's sort of pale brown, and that same family of monitors gets up to the parentes, which are 2.5 meters long.
Yeah.
Big lizards. They used to call bungarras or racehorse lizards. And a guy in Melbourne did some research, because these are related to the Komodo dragons, and they found that all the monitors, including the Komodo, have got venom glands in the bottom of the jaw.
Okay.
Which is something, because they always thought it's bacteria that cause the death, but it's not. They're actually a venomous snake. Now they are venomous lizards, so they won't make you sick, especially when they're size. But the wounds, if someone monitor bit you, the wound wouldn't heal for long. They're only found around Sydney. Sydney's got lots of sandstone ledges, which is what this exhibit's set up with. So there's a lot of little nooks and crannies that he can crawl into. He's black with yellow stripes across him, so it looks like a mini tiger snake.
Okay.
He's venomous, but again, very small, so you'd be battling to come to any harm.
Yeah.
And they'll only bite, because obviously they're not going to eat us.
Yeah.
But they'll bite as a defence thing, so often they'll do a dry bite.
Yeah, but the little ones will just keep going, you know what I mean? So,
exactly right.
Yeah.
So this one will make you sick. This is a monocled cobra.
Yeah.
So when he flares up the back of his neck, it's got a big circle on the back which looks a bit like a monocle.
Yeah, fair enough.
So we've got 2 in there. They're all curled up at the back at the moment, and they're sort of a slate grey colour, uniform colour. So not one to be mucked about. Yeah, that's all the same exhibit. Gecko is green, so it's often hard to spot. But he's sort of like an olive green. He's got a very long tail like a lot of lizards, and he's got purple.
Sorry, I was behind you. Sorry. I can still hear. I don't need to see. I can still hear it going. Yeah.
He's olive green. He's about 7 or 8 inches long.
Yeah.
And like all geckos, doesn't have claws, but he's got little sticky pads on his feet, little circles on his feet, which means that they're able to climb any surface.
They can change colours too. Can't they geckos, or have I got the wrong ones?
They're the iguanas.
Pardon?
They're the iguanas.
That like you see up in Alice Springs and all that. Okay, fair enough.
Yeah, but the geckos, the ones you often see, the little ones in your house, scampering around your walls.
Oh, okay.
This one's quite pretty, olive green, and he's got pink spots on his backside. Dragons, we've got a lot of ones from the very arid areas, so he's quite pretty. I think he's a dull brown, but on his sides he's got bright orange blotches. So this one here is the death adder. Death adder is a short, quite fat snake with a very triangulated head. And they are the fastest striking snake.
That's always been my fear walking, because some people do go bushwalking and that with these dogs, but that's always been my fear, you know. The reason why I never want to go, because dogs are curious. Doesn't matter how trained they are, you know what I mean. And so I've got this on the nose and all that kind of stuff. But I'm just saying, I'd be worried if,
Yeah.
Do they actually train them around snakes to actually know to leave snakes alone? I've tried to have to train it, but. I
think if you're in an area with a lot of snakes, that'd probably be a good idea.
Yeah.
These are ambush hunters, so they'll just sit still, and that's why people get bitten by them, because their camouflage is perfect.
Yeah.
So they're a brown colour with light brown and black stripes. And they live on reddy brown earth. You cannot see them.
Yeah.
His eyes, he's got 2 little protuberances, and they're sort of feathered, so they look a bit like eyelashes. But he's an olive green with some reddish spots, but very hard to spot because he's only probably about 20 centimeters long at that, and in a very.
Does the eyelashes do something, or is it just
just decoration?
Okay, just his decoration.
Yeah. So they live in Central and South America. Yeah. And highly venomous. Highly venomous. He's a tiger snake. He's a beauty. He's a gunmetal grey, and they can vary from light brown through to jet black.
Okay.
This one's gunmetal grey, and he's got lighter brown stripes on him. Got a big, solid head. Highly venomous.
Yeah.
They're one of the few snakes that are often on the roam in winter. Like most of the snakes will go and hibernate. You won't see them until late spring. these you can see at any time. But if you're around water anywhere, there'll be tiger snakes because their favourite tucker's frogs.
Yeah.
He looks like a toy almost.
Yeah. Well, one kid accused me once of it being.
I was talking about the gecko.
These are. I think it was. I got it wrong too. It's the chameleons. So this one is. They're a really strange-looking animal. So he's about. No, I suppose about 15 centimetres long, but then he's got a tail just as long.
Yeah.
He's all colours of the rainbow. He's green and gold and white and splotches all over, and they've got eyes that work independently. So
Whereabouts are all their eyes? How many eyes do they have?
he's got two,
Yeah.
but one can be looking down to the left and the other one will be looking in the opposite
Cross-eyed,
direction.
yeah, okay, yeah.
And they can work completely independently. So, and they've got a long sticky tongue, so their eyes moving around means they can pick up their prey a lot easier.
Yeah.
Virtually 360 degrees. Stick out the sticky tongue and grab it. But they will change colour if they
Yeah.
get into another environment, so
Yeah.
they blend in.
If he wants to stare at one woman, he can stare at half a dozen of them at one time, can't he? That's right.
And they are really gaudy looking, so they're a sort of a reddish brown colour, and then they've got black hoops around the whole body, and one down here has got white and orange hoops as well.
See, it's the interesting thing. It's okay when you go and do a first aid course and they say, oh, you get bit by a snake, try to write down the name of the snake. Yeah, right. If you're blind, you know what I mean, and all this kind of. It's not that easy.
No, that's very true. Well, fortunately,
I
these are
wouldn't
not venomous.
I wouldn't even be able to explain the saw properly to somebody, or the marks, or.
Yeah.
Guide dog can often come through. Yeah.
Right, there's three of them here.
He doesn't mean let it go up to a croc or anything.
No.
You still got it.
We'll go and pat the taipan.
Yeah.
So these are reptiles. So
Yeah.
they like to be out in the sun on a nice sunny day like this. And the big males we've got here, about 200 kilos they weigh. So they're really big animals.
Yeah.
But so we keep them separate because the males will want to mate with the females, and
Yeah.
the males are too big for these females. They would crush them under their body weight.
Yeah. Okay. So they want to breed. They'll have to get some of the right size, will they? Or
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Well, the biggest one we've got of the female here weighs about 90 kilos.
Yeah.
But she's still not big enough. Palm trees. There's one in front of us at the moment that would probably be about 30 metres tall,
Yeah.
and they have to keep all the fronds lopped off because the ibis birds, the ones with the long fronds, people call the
Yeah. There's a motel in the city called Ibis.
turkeys.
Yeah.
Sharp turn
I made a platypus out of clay.
Oh, did you?
Like a wall hanger. Yeah.
Right.
And I imitated it pretty good too because I used to be able to have sight. I know what some animals look like.
Yeah. Right, we've got one in here out at the moment. So it's a very long aquarium. It would be probably around about 8 metres long.
Yeah.
And it's got rock at the back and fallen branches and other sorts of detritus that you see in a pond in the wild. And our platypus is swimming around. And like most platypuses, even though all their feet are webbed, he only swims with his front feet.
Okay.
I don't know whether this is the male or the female, but the males have got a spur on their hind foot which is highly venomous, and apparently it's excruciatingly painful if you get scratched by them. But the females don't have that. So they're one of only 2 monotremes. That means mammals, so they're warm-blooded and they've got fur like us.
So is it poison? Is it poison if they scratch you, or?
Yeah. Only the males.
Males. Yeah. Okay.
But these are only one of 2, along with the echidna,
Yeah.
mammals that lay eggs.
Yeah.
So they're quite unique. When the Europeans first saw this, they thought, oh, it's a stitch up, and they brought it back, all the scientists, but they said, no, you've got a duck and you've
My friend, she lives in Wyong up in the Gippsland area, because I'm in Bansdale, and she had a echidna come up to her door.
Really?
Echidna, yeah, she's a wildlife instructor anyway, she knew what she was doing, and all that, so yeah. She used to be wild, so they know how to deal with them, they know how to hold them and all, so yeah. A special, an elephant?
Yeah, she was the no favourite.
Yeah.
Got her going right.
I'm talking years, I'm talking before my time probably. I'm 47.
we've got 3 here,
Yeah.
and we are trying to breed with these. So we've got an older female, who's about 15. We've got a little one who's about 3, and then we've got...
How do you know how many's allowed to be in one closure? Or you used to
Well,
that?
it's
You
by
used to that.
It's by regulation.
Oh, regulation. Okay.
So, certain number of square metres, certain number of animals.
Fair enough.
So I'd say we're probably at our limit with 3 of them. But they're with a keeper at the moment. People can pay to go behind the scenes, like you did with your. Where'd you go? Australia Zoo?
No, I didn't. No,
you patted the tortoise.
Yeah, but that was for free. That was just walking around with someone like you. No, here it was here years ago.
Yeah. So these are most beautiful animals when they move. They look like trotting horses with the left and the right legs move in tandem, so they're very graceful. But
their tongues are very long too. They are.
yeah, about 40 centimetres.
Yeah, yeah.
And they're a sort of a dark blue colour.
Yeah.
And the scientists reckon that's because the tongue's out all the time, plucking whatever they're eating out of the trees.
Yeah.
And so it's a way of combating sun exposure.
Yeah.
The interesting thing with like, if your blood pressure's normal, it's 120/80, their blood pressure operates at something like about 280/150.
Yeah, because they've got a big body to control. As they're huge,
Well,
so
it's the neck, because
the neck,
head's,
yeah.
the head's 4.5 metres above ground, so it needs to be a lot of blood pressure to get the blood up to the head.
yeah, yeah.
So their heart's about the size of an AFL footy.
Okay.
But they don't have many threats in the wild, except when they're little babies, they'll get attacked.
Yeah.
Perhaps by lions and such. But
Have you? I don't know if you've already do it, but have you ever thought about having an exhibit like a sensory exhibit that where you get like all the animals that might die? You can. I'm not talking about any big whatever you can, and actually have a taxidermy come in, and then you can actually have people like myself actually feel really what they
I've not heard it discussed.
But I'm just.
Yeah, I don't know.
No,
I
you
think
always
it'd be a good
suggested
idea.
about having an exhibit like that,
No, it would be good.
and then we can actually feel it.
I went to a school.
I mould a kangaroo or mould a koala, and that's when I used to have sight, and it's come out really. The only thing that I get the sighted people to do is when I paint them to actually tell me what they look like, the colours. So I paint them the right colour and all, and I make them into little wall hangers and all.
And on the ground we've got a quokka. You know what a quokka is? It's like
Is a lizard, lizard
little,
again?
Tiny
No?
little kangaroo.
Oh, kangaroo. That's right. Sorry, kangaroo. Yeah.
And if you go to Perth and you go across to Rottnest Island, you'll have to kick them out of your tents, and they come into your cabins and everything. They're like fleas on the dog over there. But we've got one here. The male koala is doing what koalas do. Everybody says, especially our overseas visitors, they've got to see the koala. They're cute, but they're the most boring animal because they sleep all the time.
Oh, they can be very vicious too. My friend said on Raymond Island. She used to live on Raymond Island, and they're wild up there in Raymond Island. And she said to me, they look at them as little teddy bears. Oh, let's go up and pat it. She goes, I wouldn't do that if I was you.
No, they scratch.
So she did, so they did.
Always makes me laugh when you get some...
Just as well as an ambulance thing next down the ground or whatever, but yeah.
That's got kangaroos and emus. And the emus are youngsters, they're only about a year old.
Are you watching where we're allowed to come in? Because I think it's a kangaroo paddock we can't.
No,
with the dog?
We're right here.
Sorry.
We just can't go through the great photo.
Okay. When you said kangaroos, I thought, sorry.
So, we don't take any animals from the wild anymore now. Just stop here, see a little bit left.
Yeah.
We got them some horse gate food.
So all the zoo's just swapping animals around for you, are they? Yeah. Why did you just take them from the wild?
Back in the old days they used to, they used to trap them and bring them in, which is no good for the animals, they were stressed out of their brain. We've got Kangaroo Island kangaroos here.
Yeah.
And they are the slowest kangaroos in Australia. And the reason is, because they're on an island, nothing chased them.
Yeah.
So they never evolved to have pace, whereas the ones who are living on the mainland had to contend with dingoes, eagles and other things.
Yeah.
So yeah, they're very slack kangaroo, even slacker than normal. So
they'll probably pick up pace if they really had to.
I think if you waved a carrot in front of their nose, you're probably right.
Oh, I've got one. I'm joking.
So if you want to,
I do have a carrot in my hand. What?
that's a piece of kangaroo fur, and you can feel how soft it is.
Yeah.
And kangaroo hide, mate, they make beautiful.
Is that there for everybody to feel, or you pulling these out just for me to feel?
No, I just got these out of it. We've got a thing called a touch
Oh,
table.
thank
that I
you.
use
Yeah,
for the kids.
thank you. Yeah. Okay.
You wouldn't believe it. Once they used to be able to walk through the kangaroo enclosure
I
back
know.
in the old days. And
Don't they do that anymore?
No, because the visitors just were hopeless. One woman actually tried to put her baby inside the pouch of the kangaroo. Can you believe it?
And wreck it for others. See?
Lucky the kid wasn't killed.
Yeah, dangerous.
And then I blame people like Lindy Chandler. Anyway, Nico got my baby. Probably what she was trying to say hello to. Yeah.
2 black swans.
Yeah.
Both males.
They look like me, black. You can't think of it. Anyway, yeah.
Black with white flashes on their wings. So yeah, they're not uncommon if you go down to the Port Phillip Bay. I live in Williamstown, and they're often in the ocean there. They feed on the weeds in the shallow ground, and then they fly across to Albert Park to the lake there.
Are they the ones with the big beaks? So that's pelicans. Which ones have I got wrong?
No,
one's where the neck turns like a coat hanger.
Yeah, that's the
Pardon?
pelican.
And one's okay.
These have got long necks, but only so they can reach down under.
Yeah, okay.
Now we're at the wombat enclosure, and these wombats are not like the wombats around Victoria. They're southern hairy-nosed wombats which live out on the Nullarbor Plain.
All the old show country practice. Yeah.
Yeah. Remember, did you ever...
Frank Gilroy. You remember the copper Frank Gilroy?
Yeah.
I think that wombat's still alive. I think he's dead now, but yeah, the old wombat it was.
Well, the comedians Roy and HG, when they were commenting on Olympic Games a few games ago, used to have their mascot was Fatso the Wombat.
Yeah.
Yeah, there is. And
Trail through to Trail Cat.
So if I'm ever walking and she puts her nose in some hole.
The cat will be done in about another 5.
Sorry, I'll find out if you get bitten. Ow.
so going around to the right.
Yes.
So what we're entering, you just stop there, what we're entering now looks like a cave. So there's tree roots coming out of the roof, and it's meant to resemble what it would look like if you were a wombat inside the burrow.
Okay.
And as you go along, there are windows in the side of the walls where you can see where the wombats are sleeping. Is it in the window?
How many different colours?
The echidnas are. But I can see a rake in there, so they might be. Usually, when the keepers are in there, they're locked away somewhere. But echidnas are really common in the bush. As you said, your friend. Had
My
them come up to a
my
house.
friend came across one, but
Yeah. Yeah.
I've never. So I get echidnas mixed up with porcupines. Are they similar or not?
No, they're entirely different
Okay.
because these echidna lay eggs. They're,
Oh, yeah,
they're
okay.
a mammal like you and me.
Yeah, okay.
Whereas porcupines are completely different.
Yeah.
But they look the same.
Yeah, that's what I meant in that way.
But
sorry.
they're-
Yeah.
Their prickles are actually because they've got fur, being a mammal. Now I'll get you to put your hand on this one. This is a piece of echidna skin, and go that way. If you go back the other way, you'll prick yourself on it.
Okay. Yeah.
So
It's like
probably feel some
go
fur.
woodwork, do across the grain. Not, yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So this one has got sort of light brown coloured spines.
Are you having a feel too?
And they've got
Kira?
fur in between.
Yeah.
So
Go that way if you're going to do it, Kira.
Feels
so
interesting,
if,
doesn't it?
if they're Tasmanians, they'll be very furry because it's colder.
Okay.
And the further north they go,
I don't know which
the
one
fur-
my friends whether it was furry or whether it was like that.
They're sort of in between
Yeah.
in the colder climates, and they are the world's greatest diggers. They can actually, when they get
No
frightened,
wonder why they had to wear. He wears welding gloves when he
Oh, yeah.
handles them.
you'd need them.
Yeah.
If they get threatened, they can virtually dig themselves vertically into the ground.
Yeah.
And so that all that's left between is just this hump of
They're wondering
spines.
what's at their door, and Jesus Christ, they open it up and
But they're like the platypus. They've got a little tube. They don't have a mouth, and they've got a sticky tongue, which is
Yeah.
about 30 centimetres long, and it just picks up worms and
Yeah.
can only eat animals of a certain size because it can't open its mouth
Yeah.
in wide like that.
what
Phil?
is there a statue there?
It's a statue of a monitor lizard.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Okay, now he's about, if you run your hand down, you can feel you're at his body.
Is that how big he really is?
Yeah, pretty well.
Yeah. Yeah, okay.
And you can feel
Yeah.
you've got very sharp talons. Now these lace monitors, they're called, mainly on the East Coast, are expert tree climbers.
Okay.
And the talons are so sharp, they have no trouble shimmying up trees.
I've seen a lot of these down in Blue Rock, Philip.
Yeah, okay.
All through Victoria, New South Wales.
Yeah, down, yeah. Down there, Maui, yeah, down there.
So there's one over here in the corner, and he's a bit of a naughty boy. He's tried to get out twice, so there's been a bit of a battle of wits between the keepers and the. Mind you, it's winter time, so he's sunbaking at the moment.
What's he trying to get out for?
Oh, because he can.
Yeah, okay, all right.
So he's.
I'm wondering what goes through animals' minds, why they want to get out, or they're not happy with their habitat, or.
Yeah, or just curiosity.
Yeah.
Anyway, this bloke's about over 2 metres long.
Okay.
He's got creamy coloured
Can you see him,
bands
Kira?
across his body,
Only a little bit, yeah.
and he's got creamy bands on his legs. And remember I said with these monitors, they've got venom glands in their bottom jaw. So if this bloke bit you, you might feel a little bit off, and the wound would take a while to heal. But they're quite common in the wild.
Rainforest birds in here.
Can you see another one? Want to see if we can find some more?
There's some white looking ducks down there. Beautiful blue and green coloured birds sitting in the tree. That's probably what you can hear right now. That was a bird eating a fish down on the sandy bank. Eating it whole. Zoom in a little bit. Here there's, I don't know, about 10 birds perching up in the tree, enjoying the sunshine. And then Philip, there's some black and white birds with huge long black beaks. Kind of look like ibis, but they're not ibis.
Other fish. Surprised me actually when I first came here because I thought they've got a really good aquarium down on the.
I know.
And they've got these.
I know, I was going to say, I've seen penguins before, but yeah. I'm lucky that I've had both sides of the world. I had a bit of sight so I can see animals, and now I can't. So, yeah. So if there's brand new animals come out since 21, well, I don't know, I haven't seen any new ones.
Right, now they've got some statues of seals. They're actually, well, they call them sea lions, so if you come up, give an idea of size.
Just walking on some sand.
Okay, stop here, and you put your hand out, you can feel, that's the head. So this is a statue of a bull.
Yeah.
If you put your hand down there, you can feel a little, just here, you feel a little protuberance.
Yeah.
They're the only seals that got external ears.
Okay.
So, and they're the ones that sit up on their flippers.
Yeah.
So only sea lions can do that. Most other seals have got to lollop along like a maggot on the ground, you know, like a caterpillar.
Oh no, Sally, there's no pelican poo here. Oh, I've had a seeing eye dog one day at Malakuta.
Isn't this a sand patch? Isn't this playtime?
Yeah, hang on, Sally, I don't want your harness broken. That's all I need. It's come off, hang on. You know your left and right, Sally, good on ya. Have you ever? Oh, I was asking. Have you ever taken any other blind people around? Or?
No, first time. So just stop here. They've got a big outdoor pond.
Yeah.
And all sorts of fish in here, including some big fiddler sharks and stingrays, and there's several other species of fish, but it's just beautiful. The water.
Steve Irwin's dangerous thing that he jumped in the river with.
What a tragedy.
What a tragedy. Stingrays.
Yeah.
Surely he should have knew what was in that water though, but anyway.
Well, he did. It just happened because I said it.
Beyond.
Yeah. He got scared and of course reacted. Apparently, from what I was told.
I'm going to slow down so I keep on bumping into you. I don't mean to. No.
So this whole area here is semi-dark.
Yeah.
And it's meant to be sort of simulate what it would be like to be underwater.
Yeah, well, that's fine.
Hi, this is
The whole zoo's semi-dark for me today. It's alright, it's a joke. Being blind, that's always...
We're outside the stop there. Two really big windows, and there's the pond there with our seals in it. So we've got 3 of them. One's a long-nosed fur seal, and she's got big white whiskers.
Do they need to groom them at all? Is it distributed personally or not? They get up to special fur. Fine.
The other 2 seals we've got here were rescued. So one was found on a beach down on the Bellarine Peninsula.
Yeah.
She was too young to survive on her own. Another one had physical damage. So the vets try and send them, like we've got a thing called a marine rescue unit. We get called out for injured animals and birds. And if the animal, so like this seal, is unable to be put back in the wild, then the vet makes the decision as to whether they'll be either here or
Yeah.
Sorry.
just run that, so it's got holes in it.
Yeah.
And all 4 walls are the same, and you can feel how high the roof is here.
Yeah.
So these
Hey, little
things,
kid, put your finger in there. I'm joking. I'm joking.
we had to get a pat of butter to get him out. So this is what they transport them in. So if they find one on the beach somewhere, they'll put him in here. If they're going to take him to the zoo, they transport them in these boxes. Little blue penguins. So we're at an aquarium in the wall here, and we've got several seahorses. And they're a fascinating animal because they swim vertically, if you like, and they've got a fin on a dorsal fin which vibrates and provides them with motivation. But if you believe in reincarnation, you don't want to come back as a seahorse, because what happens is the female develops the eggs, and then she gives them to the male, and he puts them inside his body, inside a pouch, and has to incubate them. Okay, you're stuck with the kids. You don't want that.
Did you hear that one, Gerard?
Yeah, just recording. So you got it on camera.
But if you're a woman, they're working in dark environment when they're fishing,
Yeah.
and they can hold their breath for up to 6 minutes when they dive, and they'll be going down well over 100 metres to do their fishing. Water area pond, and there's lots of flat tops, like rock formations. So the keepers will come out here, and when they do their inspections of the seals, they'll get them to do various things so they can check. So all the seals are trained to lift their flippers up to our visual checks. But we've got a wave machine.
Yeah.
So how many you got in here? 9, did you say, elephants?
9 here. We've got a bull.
Are you right back there, Kira?
Yeah, just behind you recording.
We've got a bull.
Yeah.
5 females and 3 little ones.
Yeah.
Just veering around to the right. Yeah, the planning for the shift has been going on for a number of years, and that's why they bred them. Because they wanted a range of ages in the herd, which is like a natural herd.
Why couldn't they keep the young ones and move on? Oh, no, you already explained it to me. They're in a herd.
Yeah,
You can't separate them.
yeah, they're very social. So the little ones in the wild would stay with their mothers for a number of years before they would. If they're female, they'll stay with the herd, but if they're males, around about 8 or 10 years of old, they get booted out of the herd and they
Yeah, but why are you not getting any more back after this? After these 9?
Because the area here is deemed to be too small for elephants.
Yeah, all right. Even for 1 or 2?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Well, even in Perth, so they've only got. Let's go left here.
Yeah.
Left.
Oh, left, sorry. Don't assume that though. There's males and females around. Our big kids will be breeding one day. How can I actually know within 10 years?
Well, the sign. We'll just stop here. There's a sign that says those in the wild.
Yeah.
These are the smallest of the tiger species. So they live in really heavy rainforest, so they don't want to be too big. But yeah, they all the zoos that have got them have got a database. So we're not breeding here,
Yeah.
but they will match them up around the world. So, for example, we've got a snow leopard here. We had one come from the UK, one come from Germany because they had their database. They looked at their genetics and said, "Yep, we're going to get really strong offspring."
Yeah.
So they're doing the same with these because
Another one you're moving away from, Sally. Keep going. Sorry. Yeah. Keep going.
So this will be the only place you'll see some African tigers. 10 years time will be in zoos.
Yeah.
Can you see the tiger?
And come into your left, you can feel how big the bamboos are there. Look at how wide they are.
Yeah.
So it's stuff, and you can hear them clacking when
Yeah.
the wind blows. But it's beautiful in here. It's gloomy and very jungly. Unfortunately, we've got idiots who've got to inscribe their initials on it. But still. So this is tiger territory. So stripy coat means that they can't be seen in an environment like this.
Do you want to stop for a smoke or anything here, or?
I'm okay. I don't think I can in the...
Yeah.
Meeting house.
Yeah.
Because all our elephants are Asian.
Yeah.
And a couple of the older ones came from Thailand way back.
Come over this way.
So we have three areas for the elephants. And there's a big pond here, and it's deep enough for an adult elephant to fully sit in there. Elephants love the water. And they get in there and they use their trunks like a snorkel, especially in the hot weather. So at the moment they've got one of the elephants in there and the keepers are in them, so they'll do work here like take.
Sorry.
Okay, go hard there. A pond, it's not only a pond just to walk in, not a swimming pond like the other one. But there's lots of things in here, containers, like there's cylinders with holes in it, there's a ball with holes in it, there's a cylinder over there, they've got a roll, and they put food in those things, makes the elephants work
similar,
to get their food.
similar to what we do with the dog.
Exactly. Yeah, they
You can
reckon
buy them for the dogs now.
Everybody reckons, I've heard the vets say every pet should have that.
Yeah.
Cats and dogs.
I know.
And they also don't get fed at the same time. And that's another thing, whereas, you say, oh, well, feed the dog at 8 o'clock in the morning, but... Really
You can't get away with it anyway with the dog. These work alarm system.
They get used to it. So these are Asian elephants, so they don't get as big as the Africans, and they're not as grumpy,
Yeah.
Which is another reason why they're often in zoos and have been in circuses. They've got smaller ears, and they're usually shaped like a map of India.
Are they grey? What colour are they?
They're sort of a dusky brown.
Oh,
colour.
dusky brown, okay.
Yeah. Long tails and big flat feet. You cannot hear elephants walking, so because they've got such big sponge plates on the bottom of their feet, they are literally silent. So you could have one a metre behind you and you wouldn't hear it.
Yeah.
So yeah, they eat about 60 to 80 kilos a day. So there's a lot of tucker's got to be given to them. And much to the delight of little kids, I
Grass
tell
or
them.
what do they?
Oh, they eat. Well, they like to munch on branches of trees, saplings.
Oh, you don't have to worry about that around here then.
They love hay.
Yeah.
Fruit and veggies, anything they can get hold of. But
Yeah.
they monitor what they give them because they're not working it off when they're walking around as they would in the wild. So
Yeah,
they
okay.
monitor, all the animals get their weight monitored very closely. this is the area where the bull hangs out. So it's got a big concrete, looks like a double garage, but twice as high. And it's got heaters in there and sand and hay and all that sort of stuff that can lie on. He's out at the moment. He's apparently a very placid boy, so the keepers say. And he's already paid for his passage from Dubbo by producing 3 litters. It's quite funny, when he was first introduced to the females, 2 of them were smitten, followed him around, thinking he was the best thing since sliced bread, and another one, when he approached, just wouldn't have a bar of him.
Yeah, I was telling my support.
Didn't want to know.
I was telling Kira when I come here on the train. I remember being in school years ago, and I might have had a bit of sight, but I still couldn't see a long distance. And one of them had a long, long penis, and I was dragging on the ground, and the kids go, look.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, that might have frightened us. But,
No, nothing frightening. Though. It was just funny how,
oh, yeah, the kids.
dragging on the ground so long.
That's what frightened the elephant, didn't like him.
Yeah.
So he's still got about 3/4 of a ton of weight to put on, so he's still not.
It looks quite small.
He does, yeah,
Like,
when you think of it.
thin.
When you put him alongside some of the female is nearly as tall, but he's a lot wider. And because he's an Asian elephant, he's the only one that has tusks. Unfortunately, he was a bit of a bookhead when he was younger, and he broke his tusks mucking around, so he hasn't got any growing. In Africa, the males and the females have tusks. Asian elephants, only the males have tusks. The females have had things about handspan wide. Tucks. And Malu. All orangutans have got a mental age of around about a 5-year-old human, so they're highly intelligent. There's lots of stuff in here to keep them occupied. And other volunteers like me are in a special group that make enrichment material. So they'll get a pine cone and they'll stuff it full of raisins and nuts and things like that. So they've got to pick it out. They don't just get fed out of a bowl. And there's a huge climbing paraphernalia in here, lots of logs and chains, looks like fire hose stretched between the two. And on some of the platforms, there's a steel box about 30 centimetres square, I suppose, and it's got mesh down the sides, and they put food in there. Because in the wild, orangutans will get a stick and they'll use it like a tool. So they're only one of the few animals that use tools. It's mainly the orangutans and the gorillas, the apes in other words, that do it. So they've got to actually use their intelligence to get the food out, so it stops them from getting bored.
Yeah.
And you might see bags around too, cardboard boxes, boxes in there with bits and pieces inside. It always looks untidy, but it's all to do with their being stimulated.
Yeah.
So these are immensely strong, especially the males. They're stronger than 10 times stronger than the strongest male. So immensely strong. So even though they're quite passive animals, they've got to be careful with them because they just don't know their own strength.
Yeah.
But the male here, even by orangutan standards, is really, really bright. And it's a constant battle between him and the keepers as to what he can get up to next. When they put a lot of these fire hoses in here, the keeper said, can you go up and do a watch on him? And he tested every one of those things. He tested all the bolts, because he quite often undoes bolts and shackles and things.
Oh my God. And he's never been taught that?
No, he's just naturally bright and very, very inquisitive.
Yeah.
So,
Is he alone? There's no other orangutans?
no, that's a female up there.
Oh yeah, it's
So
female.
he's as big, so the male orangutans will get up to about 100 kilos. The female's probably around about 40 to 50. But they breed very slowly, so these are Sumatrans. Again, Sumatra, where those tigers were, a lot of forest getting knocked down, so they're under great stress. But the little ones are born and then they stay with their mother for about 7 or 8 years. And they've got a breeding cycle similar to humans. So by the time they get to 35, 40, they're not going to breed anymore. And if you've got a kid with you, staying with you till 7 years before you breed another one, the replacement's quite slow.
You'll be nearly 40 or 50-year-old before your second one grows.
Well, that's right. So
Yeah.
It's a really dark turquoisey green colour.
Yeah.
So
Do they crack easy, or was that when the
Yeah.
baby came out, or was that being cracked?
That's been cracked.
Okay.
What else have we got?
Their beak must be hard to get through that when they want to crack it open to get the baby out.
Yeah.
Or does the baby come out naturally out of that?
They hatch just like a chicken.
Yeah, okay. The parent don't need to crack it open to it.
No.
Okay.
That's about all we've got at the moment.
Well, thanks very much.
I'll let know the difference between an ape and a monkey.
Not really, no.
Okay, apes don't have tails.
Monkey food. Yeah, okay, I'll do now.
Gorillas, chimps, orangutans, gibbons and us are all in the ape group.
Yeah. I hope it's a doggy.
And we've got 3 gorillas. We've got a male who's about 21, 22. And he's what we call a silverback. So when they get to sexual maturity, the fur on their back goes a silvery grey colour. And he's a big boy. So he could max out at about 160, 70 kilos.
Yeah. And where's it not? Is the little ones still here too?
Yeah, there's still the little ones.
Do they stay in packs too, or they don't like to be separated?
No, they stay in their troop, in a family group. And we can just see the female now. She's got something in her mouth. So these are lowland gorillas. So they do sometimes climb trees when they're little, but the males are so big that
they're wreck it true, probably. So heavy.
Yeah. But generally they're pretty passive.
Yeah.
But they're immensely strong, and the only time they show aggression is if their family group is threatened, and it's the male who looks after everything. So with these ones, they're lowland gorillas, and unfortunately there's mining going on for a mineral called coltan, which is part of mobile phone stuff.
Okay.
And so we ask people to recycle their phones here.
Okay.
So the phones get recycled for money, and it goes off and they take the coltan out of that as well. But it funds a group of.
Do you get many phones?
Yeah.
That would be amazing. Cool. Is that just iPhones or
Smartphones?
All smartphones.
Yeah. Any smartphone.
Android or.
Yep, doesn't matter. It's what the mineral is in the makeup. So what they do is they strip mine. So everything is just laid flat, and then they strip mine the ore out. So it means they're.
The lowland gorilla.
That's the one that I just
Little idiosyncrasy she's got. It's like sucking your thumb.
No, I was gonna say it's not an autism thing, is it? They don't like lots of lots of sound. I mean,
no, she's quite happy. It's just that she's always done that even as a youngster. So all the money from that goes to funding gorilla doctors.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah,
in the Congo. Cool area.
What talk have they got there at the moment?
It's the gorilla talk.
Okay.
As the leader, he gets to make all the decisions for the group, and so that's things like when they're going to go foraging for food and what they're foraging for. And so he's got to keep the group safe and safe from other gorillas as well who might be encroaching on their territory, that sort of thing. Now, along with all of that responsibility, he also gets lots of perks. So as a perk, he gets his
That's how they are in the wild. He's about 16 years old.
Does that mean he won't grow anymore, being pygmy?
That's it. Yeah, he's fully grown. But he lives in really heavy...
Is it a rare that they come out pygmy, or
is
it rare, meaning some genetic thing, or
no, it's a breed.
Okay.
It's a species of hippo.
Yeah, we'll move closer to the enclosure.
Yeah, he's standing up over there. He's got like a little cave with some... Go through. With some hay and water.
Yeah.
So big hippos are the ones, they are a social animal. So they're seen in herds along the rivers. The African veldt.
Was he parent? Was it parents a pygmy as well? Or?
No, he was imported from an
Oh, okay.
sunburnt because they spend quite a bit of time basking in the sun.
Yeah. Listen, that they can't worry about carrying sunscreen around.
That's right. And nothing much bothers them at all. Even the pygmies are pretty dangerous animals. Hippos are the most dangerous animal in Africa because
They're very aggressive, right?
yeah, they're very aggressive. They defend their territory against everything. And yeah, there's more people killed in Africa by hippos than anything else.
Oh, you'd think it would have been rhinos because they're the ones got the horns.
Yeah, well, the hippo could easily fit, half of you in its mouth. And
Yeah.
massive tusks.
Yeah.
They've got arms around about 1.5 meters long. They're the smallest of the apes. And we just had the female up at the window, and she's a blonde colour, a bit like a golden Labrador. And the male in here is black. So they're quite unique. When the little ones are born,
Is there a window there? Oh, okay.
there's a fence to keep
Yeah.
off the window.
Yeah.
Because we had idiots to go and bang on the window and drive the animals nuts. When they're born, they're blonde like their mum, which stands to reason, it's protective. But about 5 or 6 months, they turn black like their dad.
Okay.
And then when they're about 5 or 6 years old, the females of the young, or the female youngsters, will then turn blonde like their mum. So it's unique in the animal world where you...
Black, white. So they go from blonde to black to blonde again.
That's right, the females do.
Yeah.
And the males, born blonde, then go black and stay black.
Okay.
So these are beautiful. They sing to each other and they call and answer. So he'll make a call, she'll reply, and it's quite melodious. It really is beautiful. Unfortunately, it tends to be a morning or a
Have you
late
got a
afternoon.
speaker thing here where you'd be able to hear that, or
I don't know, it's a good question. I wouldn't be surprised if there's some sort of thing
they
with...
don't build them or something so we can actually hear?
Yeah, there's nothing here. Well, you don't want the calls to be here because sometimes the calls are about danger or something like that. So if people are continually playing it would upset the animal.
Yeah.
But I think they might have animals...
No, where we can hear them, I mean. We can hear the animals. We don't push anything back. I'm talking about big speakers where we can hear what's going
I see.
out there.
Oh, look, you'd hear them in the next postcode once they get going.
Yeah, okay.
Very loud. Okay. When the lions roar, they roar and then they do the sort of
Yeah.
at the end. So we're on the other side of the gorillas here. So we're on the south side of the gorillas and we come around in a big loop. And we're on the other side of their patch. And on this side there's a lot of climbing apparatus here and things to keep them amused and stimulated. But a lot of the animals, let's go, a lot of the animals are able to access their night quarters if they want to, so it's all part of giving animals choices
Yeah.
rather than being forced into doing stuff.
Are they in different paddocks tonight, you mean, or different quarters? Or
No, there'll be...
they do what they want in their own quarters?
Yeah, there's sort of like a big hole in the wall and there'll be a big cage in there in which they can go in at night. There'll be a straw bed if they want to, especially on cold nights.
Yeah.
There'll be heating in there for
And
them.
you leave it up to them whether they want to
Yeah.
go in or you leave it open and they want
Correct.
to come in or out. Okay. They can't accidentally close on them, can it?
No,
Retail
no,
receipt
it'll be
is
open
even for the first aid.
flash open.
So I need some assistance just outside the shop, please. Saying we're in the shop.
You know set up?
Yeah, I think so, yeah.
It's sort of like... There's 3 of them sitting in the sunlight, so they live in groups, in burrows. They're expert diggers, they've got long claws at the front, and they eat bugs and worms and sometimes vegetation, but they love mealworms. So the keepers do a little bit of a scatter feed where they just throw it all around the exhibit, and they'll
Oh, it's come to say hi to Sally.
come to say hi to the doggy. There's one sniffing at the glass.
It won't hurt. Oh, it's behind glass. I was going to say it won't hurt, will it?
No.
Behind the glass.
No, they're just saying hi.
So their favourite food is in fact tarantulas.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry, scorpions. And so they bat them with their fingers, the scorpions, until the scorpion gets tired. They rush in, nip the string off the tail and then eat it.
Yeah.
So they've got a mouthful of needle-sharp teeth. And they live in the very dry areas, like the southwest of South Africa, where it's semi-desert. And there's always one standing up on lookout, because in the wild, the main thing that attacks them are birds of prey.
Okay, Sally's thinking I've had enough. Had a look.
Enough. And
How old are they? It was a long time ago since I've been here. I think it could have been one and I touched. I'm not too sure.
Wilbur's 95,
Yeah.
and Little John is about 75. But they'll live, some of them, to 150.
Yeah.
So, and it's because their metabolism is so slow. So, slow moving and slow metabolism animals tend to have a long life. So the faster, like hummingbirds, only live for a very short time because their whole system's going at warp speed all the time.
Yeah.
So yeah, these are big boys. 190 kilos.
Without the shell, or that including the shell?
That's the whole lot.
Okay.
That's the interesting thing. Just turn to your right, Bill.
Yeah.
The thing I found out from the reptile people was that they've got blood supply and nerve connections in their shell.
Yeah.
So they can actually feel you touching the shell, which to me is unusual, a little bit like fingernails, you know, we wouldn't know. But so that's...
Yeah, I can't remember. What you're saying is true, because I can't remember whether it was this or because the person, the keeper said, yeah, why is the head in there? They put the head in because they can feel what's going on in their shell. You know, it's just hiding from you. It's the way they're protecting. You know, move away and his head should come out because it can only feel what you're touching him. That's why. So yeah.
Yeah. Well, one of the things I really like is they get a hard bristle brush.
Yeah, rub like that.
So
it's
like a
shell.
massage.
That's what they said to me with the fingers. Rub your hands here. They said.
Just scratching.
Loving it.
Yeah.
Love it.
That's the male. The one I don't know if you saw the other one. She's a female. Yeah. Okay. Right. So they were imported. She came from the UK. He came from Germany because they've got a big database of all the genetics, and they match them up to get the best throw because they're threatened. It's like the Sumatran tiger, which is the next enclosure, they'll be gone in the wild less than 10 years.
And the elephants are going?
Elephants are going down to wherever, probably by December.
It'll be a nice setup down there.
Well, the area they're going to is as big as the whole of the zoo. So,
And that zoo is big. So
They love
it's
it,
a
don't they?
safari
Oh, they
zoo.
will.
That's why.
yeah, and yes, that's right. You'll only see them by going on the bus. So we're up on the tiger enclosure here. There's a female tiger in here. And it's a Sumatran, like the first one that we came across. So because all this area was redeveloped about 3 or 4 years ago.
Are you keeping the camera running while we interested to watch?
Oh yeah.
How many times you'll get it in one go, or how many times? How many turns you need to take to get it?
I can't see her at the moment, but that's not unusual.
That's it.
She's pretty shy.
I've seen that tiger in the water once. He was having a swim.
Some of the stuff you're saying is very interesting in how they do movies up. Like again, Homeward Bound, the one with the 3 dogs I was telling you about, and one of the dogs was cheeky. He puts his nose on an echidna, and then there was a cat there trying to pull it out of the dog's nose, pull it out of the dog, you know. And because the golden retriever was the smart one out of the one of the silly other breeds of dogs, they'll get them chased by a leopard or whatever they are, the spotted ones. And so what the golden retriever did told, they went in like a diving board that we go on, right? Yep. They lured the leopard onto the board, and like that, and then Chance, the golden retriever, said jump. So make the dog jump aside, and then the leopard went way over, and so they could take off easy, you know. Yeah.
Yeah.
I know.
I don't know if you've heard.
I know movies are all far fetched, but what you're telling me is, yeah. What were you saying? How long does the Tasmanian devil live for? Expand life.
Good question. I think it's about 10 or 12 years.
Okay.
So yeah, about the same as a dog, I suppose, thereabouts.
Yeah.
But they're notorious because they're scavengers. They'll feed on roadkill a lot, So they'll come in roadkill, which means they're crossing roads, so they're getting hit by cars, and then they squabble over the food. So they don't kill each other, but they'll squabble. So there'll be bite marks, and so the facial tumour gets passed very easily.
Yeah, yeah.
And yeah, it's a real problem. They reckon there's only a little pocket in the northeast at the moment that doesn't have it, but they reckon it's only a matter of time. But it's, yeah, you got to wonder. It's strange why it's suddenly arisen.
Anything else, or we're heading back to the
No,
dog
we're,
now?
we're still going past the Tasmanian devil. So this is the second enclosure of the Tasmanian devil.
That must be a tiger now, is it? What did you say the difference between the two roars?
Oh,
that one, yeah, that one's going.
That noise. Look.
That.
Yeah.
That's it.
That's a recording. They've got recordings of animals in there. I'll just have a look and see if there's any in here. No, they got the name of devils because when the Europeans first arrived, they didn't know about these animals. They mainly operated at night. Of course, when they squabble over the food, they sound as though they're tearing each other apart, you know, screaming and snarling and carrying on. So the Europeans...
Is there special days where the animals won't come out at all if it's really raining or
no,
or
devils don't care.
No, not just devils, but any animals around us. They usually hide it in the rain or they don't care?
If it's really cold and wet, yeah, a lot of the monkeys and the apes will go and seek shelter.
Yeah,
but
you do hear something. Oh, yeah, we went there. We didn't say this today. I didn't say that.
That's
today.
right.
Yeah.
In the cooler months at 25. Actually, this is on the year round.
Yeah, they're not silly. Yeah, on really bad days, we often go home early because nobody comes, and there's nothing to see anyway.
Yeah.
Especially this time of the year, even though most of the reptiles are in warm areas, things like that.
And what safety mechanisms have you got in if an animal did escape? You know.
They put out a general alarm, and everybody has got safe areas that they've got to move to, and it's our job and the keepers to get all these people and say, right, you've got to go.
Yeah, but that animal could be around where you're trying to gather people up.
Well, that's right. That's right.
Yeah.
Thank you. Now you can have a go through there if you
Oh,
want.
no, I'm okay.
All right. Okay.
Seemed like a big one, a long one.
Mm.
Yeah.
Okay.